Hello again. Okay, here's the second video. Again, we're still talking about fractions, but we're really diving deep as far as really understanding what a fraction is and how it is a product of a whole number. So the first one is going to be talking about multiples. And I love this worksheet because it is putting it in a perspective of what really is a fraction. Remember, a fraction is part of something. So if you have 7/10 and you know it needs to be a product of a whole number, you are going to write it as a unit. A unit means a part of something. A unit is a number part of one. So write 7/10. Now we have 7 as the numerator. So look at how many tenths they wrote. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7/10 is the same as saying 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10, so forth and so on until you get to 7/10. Okay, so let's go ahead and move down. I'm going to skip the second example, and then we're going to go ahead and move down to writing a fraction as a product of a whole number. Okay, with this, all you are doing is you're taking the numerator, which is 2, and you are going to write that 2 as what you're multiplying by. So if I have a 2 right here, maybe, we're going to multiply that by something. Well, we have a fifth as the denominator, correct? So if I were to take 1/5 plus 1/5 and do that 2 times, that would give me 2/5. Pretty simple, right? Okay, let's do the next one. What's my numerator? It's a 5, right? So you're going to write 5 as your whole number. You're going to multiply that by, now what's your denominator? It's a 12, correct? You're going to take your 12, write that as a denominator, and put your 1 on top. So if you do 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12 and do that 5 times, you're going to get 5/12. I'm not going to worry about number 3 right now. Okay, the next one is number 4, where you have to list the multiples. Well, if you're skip counting by ones, what comes after 1? 2. What comes after 2? 3. What comes after 3? 4. Sloppy 4 with this pen. Sorry. And what comes after 4? 5. Okay, now we have to write these as fractions, right? Okay, so what is my denominator? The 4. So we have 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, and 5/4. Okay, not going to worry about number 5 because of time. Okay, let's go ahead and move down to the next worksheet. The next worksheet, again, is asking you to model in order to multiply a fraction using whole numbers. Again, just like what we did, if you are multiplying 3/5 by 4, then you know that if you did 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5, you would get 3/5. Well, that's exactly what they did right here. You have 5 sections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but what's the numerator? It's a 3, right? So that is why they colored. Okay, let me go back. Here's 5. They have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, then you have the numerator. The numerator is a 3. Well, that's why they colored these 3. You see that? Okay, now what are we multiplying by? Up at the initial problem, it told us that we were initially multiplying by 4, correct? Well, look, 1, 2, 3, yuck, there we go, 4. Maybe. So they are multiplying by 4 right here. So when you were to literally go through and count all of the shaded markings that we have going on right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's how they came up with the 12 right here. Out of how many pieces? Out of 5. And that's how they got that answer. So let's go through. Now, before I scanned this paper in, I went ahead and counted for us so it could save us some time. Again, you have 2 pieces, 2 pies, 1, 2, and each pie is going to divide into 6 pieces. But we only need 5 colored in each pie. So it's already been shaded for us. if I were to go through and count the pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many pieces then at that point are actually going to be colored in? It's 10 pieces, correct? So I'm going to take my 10, put that as the numerator, and then out of how many pieces are we talking about? We're talking about 6 pieces. Now, this is an improper fraction, but that's fine. That's what they're looking for right now. Okay. Now, I feel like this is a little bit more challenging, so we're going to go through the next one. Okay. The next one, again, if you were to count every single piece, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, so there's 21 pieces that I put dots next to. Okay, so if that's the case, then I am going to write 21 up at the top. And how many were on each section? Well, again, there are 8 on each candy bar, my Hershey bar, right? Okay. The next ones are review of what we were doing in 4th grade before we left for break. Okay, so I'm going to show you the way that we were teaching you in class so it doesn't confuse you, even though we're talking about modeling. Okay, all you're doing is we have a whole number. You have to take that whole number and turn it into a fraction because you can't multiply a whole number by a fraction. Well, the way you do that is simply by putting a 1 underneath it. Now, we know we can multiply across with fractions, so what's 6 times 2? 12. Put your fraction line. What's 1 times 3? 3. And again, you can leave them as improper fractions. You don't have to change them back into a mixed number. Now, in School City, if it's asking you to change it into a mixed number, let me remind you of what that would look like. I'm going to put it over here, okay? Because I don't remember if School City, if it's asking you to do that. If you have 12 over 3, you need to turn it into an improper fraction. You would then divide 3 into 12. How many times does 3 go into 12? 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. You don't have a remainder, so your answer is 4. 4 wholes is the same as 12 over 3. Now, if the fraction did have a remainder, remember that remainder becomes the numerator, and then this outside number right here that was your denominator is still your denominator, okay? Because always the number on the outside of the house is your denominator, okay? Okay, I think you guys are set. Thank you. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye now.